Tonight, I'm not standing here as a hero. I'm not standing here as a hero. I'm not standing here as someone fearless or unbreakable. I'm standing here as a man who understands one simple truth. If I lost you, it would mean I lost everything. Not because my world would stop spinning, not because the sun wouldn't rise tomorrow, but because the sun wouldn't rise tomorrow, but because the sun wouldn't rises for me, would be gone. You see, love isn't just a word to me. It's not poetry. It's not fantasy. It's the quiet strength that keeps my heart steady when life gets loud. It's the hand I reach for in the dark. It's the voice that reminds me who I am. And that voice is yours. If I lost you, I wouldn't just lose a person. I would lose the laughter that fills my silence, the calm inside my chaos, the meaning behind my ambition, the courage behind my confidence, the courage behind my confidence. Because loving you didn't make me weak. It made me brave enough to care, brave enough to fight for something greater than myself music. So tonight, this speech isn't about fear, it's about realization. It's about understanding that when you truly love someone, they don't become part of your life, they become your life. And if I lost you, it wouldn't mean I lost a chapter. It would mean if I lost you, it would mean I lost everything. Not the houses, not the money, not the houses, not the money, not the applause, not the noise of a world that keeps clapping for things that don't really matter. I'm talking about something deeper than that. I'm talking about the quiet moments, the spaces between heartbeats, the air I breathe when no one is watching. Because you are not just someone I love, you are the reason love makes sense to me. Before you, life felt like movement without direction. I was walking, but I didn't know where I was going. I was speaking, but I didn't know what I was trying to say. And then you happened. Not like a storm, not like fireworks, but like sunrise. Slow, certain, gentle, unstoppable. You changed the way I see the world without trying to. The sky looked different, music sounded deeper, even silence felt alive. And that's when I realized that love isn't about possession. It's about awakening. It's about finding a part of yourself you didn't know was missing. If I lost you, I wouldn't just lose a person standing beside me. I would lose the mirror that shows me who I truly am. I would lose the calm that steadies my hands when life tries to shake me. I would lose the reason I push harder, dream bigger, and believe longer. Because loving you didn't make me dependent, it made me purposeful. When I say I would lose everything, I don't mean I would stop existing. When I say I would lose everything, I don't mean I would stop existing. I mean the meaning behind my existence would fade. The color behind the picture would drain. The warmth behind the fire would disappear. You are in the smallest details of my life, in the way I smile without realizing it, in the way I look at the future and don't feel afraid. Music. In the way I've learned that strength is not about standing alone, but about choosing someone and standing with them. I've been strong alone, I've survived alone, I've walked through storms alone. But surviving isn't living, and strength without love is just endurance. You taught me that real power is vulnerability, real courage is saying, I need you without fear. If I lost you, I would lose the softness that makes me human. Because you see parts of me I don't show the world, the doubts, the fears, the scars I carry quietly. And instead of running from them, you hold them gently. You don't try to fix me, you just stay. And sometimes staying is the most powerful form of love. When I look at you, I don't just see a partner, I see my peace. I see my home, not a place with walls and doors, but a feeling, a presence, a heartbeat that feels like it belongs next to mine. People think everything is about success, about achievement, about building empires. But what is an empire without someone to share it with? What is victory if there's no one whose eyes you want to see proud? You are my pride, my quiet victory, my answered prayer that I never knew how to ask for. If I lost you, mornings would still come, the world would still turn, but it would feel mechanical, predictable, empty, because what makes life extraordinary isn't the grand events. It's the person you want to tell about them. You are the first thought that crosses my mind when something beautiful happens, and the only thought that matters when something painful does. Losing you wouldn't be losing comfort. It would be losing courage because you give me a reason to fight for a better version of myself. You inspire me not by demanding more, but by believing more. You believe in me in ways I never learned to believe in myself. And that belief changed me. It made me stand taller, speak clearer, dream further. Without you, I would still move, but I wouldn't rise. Love isn't about saying, I can't live without you, because that sounds weak. It's about saying life makes sense with you. It's about recognizing that connection is not a luxury, it's a necessity for the soul. You are not an accessory in my life, you are the axis. the center point, the quiet gravity that keeps everything aligned. And when I imagine a world without you, it doesn't scare me because I would be alone. It scares me because I would forget what it feels like to be understood without explanation. You understand my silence. You hear what I don't say. You see the exhaustion behind my smile and the hope behind my doubt. If I lost you, I would lose that understanding. And there is nothing louder than being misunderstood by the world and not having one person who truly sees you. You are my witness to my growth, to my struggle, to my becoming. And that matters more than anything because life is not measured in years. It's measured in moments shared, in laughter that echoes in small rooms, in late night conversations where dreams feel possible, in holding hands without speaking and knowing that nothing else is needed. If I lost you, I would lose those moments before they even happen. I would lose the future we haven't lived yet, the trips we haven't taken, the challenges we haven't faced, the victories we haven't celebrated, the quiet nights we haven't spent just breathing next to each other. You are woven into my tomras. People say never put your everything into one person, but they misunderstand. You are not my everything because I lack something. You are my everything because I lack something. You are my everything because you amplify everything. You make happiness deeper, pain lighter, success sweeter, failure bearable. Without you, everything would still exist, but it would exist in half color. If I lost you, I would lose the version of myself that only appears when you're near. The softer voice, the patient heart, the fearless dreamer. You don't just walk beside me, you transform me. And transformation is rare. I've seen what loneliness does to people. It makes them guarded, careful, distant. Loving you removed those walls brick by brick, not because you forced them down, but because you made them unnecessary. With you, I don't need armor. If I lost you, I would have to wear that armor again. And I don't want to go back to surviving when I've learned how to live. You are not my weakness. You are my reason. When I say I would lose everything, I mean I would lose the meaning behind the fight, the warmth behind the cold days, the light that makes the darkness poetic instead of terrifying. You gave me something no achievement ever could, a sense of belonging. Belonging is powerful. It tells you that you're not wandering through life unnoticed, that someone chooses you every day, that someone sees you at your worst and stays in. And I choose you the same way, not out of need, not out of fear, but out of certainty. If I lost you, I wouldn't just lose love, I would lose certainty. I would lose the feeling that when the world gets loud, there is one place where I can rest, one voice that calms me, one presence that makes the chaos outside feel small. You are that presence, and everything else is just noise. I don't fear losing things. I've lost before, I've rebuilt before, I've started over before, I've started over before. But losing you would not be a lesson, it would be a fracture because some connections are not replaceable. Some souls don't pass through your life casually. They anchor themselves quietly, and suddenly you realize they've become essential. You are essential, not to my ego, not to my image, but to my heart. If I lost you, I would lose the person who makes me want to be better without asking me to change. The person who sees greatness in me even when I doubt it exists. And that kind of love doesn't come twice. So when I say, if I lost you, it means I lost everything. I'm not speaking from fear. I'm speaking from truth. You are the quiet strength behind my loud battles, the steady rhythm behind my racing thoughts, the gentle reminder that even in a complicated world, love can be Lev, and simple doesn't mean small. It means real. You are real to me in a way nothing else is. And the thought of a life where your laughter doesn't fill my space, where your hand doesn't reach for mine, where your eyes don't soften when they look at me, that thought doesn't feel like loss. It feels like emptiness spreading through something that once felt infinite. Love is not a part of life, it is life. People talk about love as if it's something you add when everything else is in place, as if you build your career, your strength, your independence, and then one day you decide to include love, like it's furniture in a finished house. But I don't see it that way. I never have. To me, love is the foundation. It's the ground beneath the house. It's the oxygen inside the lungs. Without it, everything else might exist, but none of it truly lives. Before I understood that, I thought life was about survival, about pushing forward, about pushing forward, about enduring pain and proving you're strong enough to carry it alone. I wore my independence like armor. I believed needing someone was weakness. I believed attachment was risk, and maybe it is. But what I didn't understand back then is that the biggest risk isn't loving deeply. The biggest risk is living without it. Because without love, success feels hollow, achievement feels temporary, even joy feels thin, like it disappears too quickly. Love gives weight to moments. It slows them down. It makes them stay. When I look at you, I don't see an addition to my life. I see the reason it has color, the reason it has meaning. You don't decorate my world, you define it. Use love is in the way I wake up and think of you before the day even begins. It's in the quiet gratitude that settles in my chest when I realize you're still here. It's in the calm I feel, knowing that no matter how loud the world becomes, there is one place where I can breathe freely. You are that place. Love is not dramatic every day. It's not always fireworks and grand gestures. Music, sometimes it's just sitting in silence and feeling understood. Sometimes it's a glance across the room that says more than words ever could. Sometimes it's choosing each other when it would be easier not to. That's why love is life, because life isn't constant excitement. It's consistency, it's presence, it's choosing to stay. I used to think strength meant standing alone, but love taught me that real strength is letting someone see you without the armor. It's allowing someone to witness your fears, your doubts, your scars, and trusting them not to use them against you. With you, I don't have to pretend. I don't have to be unbreakable. I can be real. And being real feels stronger than being perfect ever did. Love changes the way you move through the world. It makes you kinder without trying. It makes you more patient. It makes you think before you speak because you understand the weight of words. It makes you value time differently because you know moments are shared, not owned. When I say love is life, I mean it shapes everything. The way I plan my future includes you without effort. The way I define my future includes you without effort. The way I define happiness automatically involves your smile. The way I measure success is no longer about what I gain, but about what I gain, but about what we build together. You are in my definition of everything that matters. Without love, days blur together. With love, even ordinary days feel sacred. Is this? A simple walk becomes meaningful. A shared meal becomes memorable. A quiet night becomes something you carry with you forever. Love doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. It works quietly. It shifts perspectives. It softens edges. It teaches you that vulnerability is not something to avoid, but something to protect. You taught me that. You taught me that opening my heart doesn't make me fragile. It makes me alive. Because what is life if you never risk your heart? What is living if you never allow yourself to feel deeply, to care deeply, to attach deeply? People fear losing love, so they hold back. They give half of themselves to avoid full pain. But half love creates half lives. It keeps you safe, but it keeps you safe, but it keeps you small. With you, I never wanted small. I wanted real laughter, real arguments that end in understanding, real dreams shared at midnight, real dreams shared at midnight, real promises spoken without hesitation. Love is in the way you look at me when I doubt myself. It's in the way you believe in my strength, even when I can't see it. It's in the way your presence alone can calm the storm inside my mind. Life throws challenges, it tests patience, it creates distance and obstacles. But love is what turns those challenges into growth instead of defeat. I see moments with you. I see building something steady and honest. I see growing older without fear because I know I won't be alone in the process. Love makes time less threatening. It reminds you that aging is not about losing youth, it's about gaining memories. And memories are richer when they're shared. You are part of every memory I cherish, and even the ones we haven't lived yet feel real because I know they will include you. Love is not possession, it's partnership. It's standing side by side, not one in front of the other. It's listening when you want to speak. It's forgiving when pride tells you not to. It's choosing understanding over ego. And that choice, made daily, is what keeps love alive. Life without love feels mechanical. You wake up, you work, you sleep. The cycle repeats. But love interrupts the cycle. It adds surprise. It adds warmth. It adds a reason behind the routine. You give me reasons. Reasons to push harder. Reasons to be softer. Reasons to be softer. Reasons to be softer. Reasons to dream beyond myself. Love teaches responsibility too. Not the heavy kind that feels like burden, but the beautiful kind that feels like burden, but the beautiful kind that feels like honor. The responsibility to protect someone's heart the way they protect yours. The responsibility to show up even when you're tired. The responsibility to show up even when you're tired. Because love isn't about convenience. It's about commitment. And it's about commitment. And commitment is powerful. It creates safety. It builds trust. It allows two people to relax into each other instead of constantly guarding themselves. With you, I feel safe, not because life is perfect, but because we face it together. That's life. Not isolation, not independence for the sake of pride, but connection. When I hold your hand, I don't just feel touch, I feel grounding. I feel reminded that I'm not navigating this world alone, and that reminder changes everything. Yes, Love doesn't erase pain, but it makes pain bearable. It doesn't remove fear, but it gives courage. It doesn't guarantee forever, but it gives courage. It doesn't guarantee forever, but it makes the present worth everything. When I say love is life, I mean it's the thread running through every meaningful moment. It's the invisible force behind every meaningful moment. It's the invisible force behind every brave decision. It's the quiet reason I get up and try again. With love, ambition feels shared. It becomes about building something for two hearts instead of one ego. I don't want a life filled with trophies and empty rooms. I want a life filled with shared glances and honest conversations. I want memories that echo with your laughter. I want challenges that we overcome together. Because at the end of everything, what remains are the connections we nurtured. You are my greatest connection. Love makes ordinary things extraordinary. It turns a simple, "How was your day?" into genuine care. It turns a hug into reassurance. It turns a small smile into motivation. You motivate me in ways you don't even see. The way you face your own struggles inspires me to face mine. The way you forgive inspires me to soften. The way you love inspires me to become better. Life is unpredictable, it shifts without warning. But love provides an anchor. It doesn't stop the waves, but it keeps you from drifting too far. You are my anchor, and I don't say that lightly. Love is not about losing yourself in someone. It's about finding a fuller version of yourself in someone. It's about finding a fuller version of yourself through them. It's about expansion, not disappearance. With you, my empathy deepened. My understanding widened. That is life. Growth, connection, meaning, and all of it flows from love. If someone asked me what matters most, I wouldn't hesitate. It's not status, not validation, not applause. It's the quiet certainty that there is someone who chooses you every day. And I choose you, not because I have to, not because I'm afraid to be alone, but because life feels incomplete without the rhythm of your heart next to mine. Love is waking up and knowing someone cares if you're tired. It's coming home and feeling the difference between a house and a haven. It's speaking your truth and not fearing judgment. With you, I can speak freely. I can be flawed. I can be human. And being human, fully honestly, is what life is about. Love is not a side story. It's the main narrative. It's not background music. It's the heartbeat. And as long as that heartbeat continues, life feels real, vibrant, worth fighting for. Without it, everything becomes quieter in the wrong way. So when I stand here and say love is not a part of life, it is life. I mean that every breath, every plan, every dream gains its depth from it, from you, because loving you isn't something I do. It's something I live,